Welcome to The Magnolia, the show that is dedicated to image, brand, and business culture. I'm Nyda Bittmann-Neville, your host. I don't know about you, but my team did not make it into the Super Bowl. But we can still look, learn, and enjoy about some of the festivities of the Super Bowl. Now, if you think about the Super Bowl, how in the world does an event like that draw the kind of attention that it does? Here we have individuals who will be working all this week probably in preparation for the big Super Bowl game. They try to get the right environment, they get the right food, and the list just goes on and on and on. And in fact, the other night I did hear that there are still some tickets available, but they're probably going at the rate of about better than $10,000, and that's probably in that nosebleed section, right? So with the fans taking all of that effort, wanting to watch it, to participate in it, and again, even be right there in the stadium. So how can we create, as business owners, that focus and enthusiasm in our company? Even if it's once a year, just like the Super Bowl, wouldn't that be fantastic? Now, the analogy of football is usually associated with leadership. We talk about the coaches and how they, as leaders, inspire the players, get the fans to support them, and they have a great season. And that support continues. Even when they probably have a bad season, it will continue. And so how is it, though, that we can take a different look at the Super Bowl? Not necessarily from that perspective, but I want to look at it from a marketing perspective. How can we create a Super Bowl or a Super Bowl idea in our own company? Well, I would like to share with you what I consider my football plan, if you will. First, we've got to have the right team players. We've got to get your employees involved in coming up with an idea that is really going to get a huge amount of excitement and enthusiasm around. Because when we get the employees involved, what happens? Those ideas start to swell up, people get excited, and then they do come up with that idea that they really want to try. So we want to get management involved also as players, not necessarily as team captains. Put your employees in that role. Secondly is design the colors and the props. It could be everything from mascots, the team colors that you want, the props that you want to use for whatever that idea is. For example, if you have your Super Bowl idea is to do something with a country theme, then maybe, of course, we would have horses and we would have cowboy hats, possibly, and stables for the horses, and maybe scarves around our necks, and so forth. So again, designing those colors and those props. And then along the way, make sure you have some strategic timeouts, because as the ideas are brewing, we may have to say, time out. Does that one really make sense? Have we thought that through? And so you definitely want to make sure that you're thinking everything through from the beginning to the end. Now we need a good show, halftime show particularly, some commercials, and wouldn't this just be fun that you've got your employees planning out how are they going to do the halftime. If it's a sales contest, for example, and maybe that's what you decide to do for your, quote, Super Bowl idea, is a sales contest with your salespeople and your support people, maybe even getting your customers involved in this in some fashion. But here we have this halftime show. And you can use a video machine just like what I'm doing here to tape the Magnolia, and you can tape your employees, doing some commercials, maybe even your customers want to get involved, and just making the event and the idea begin to blossom and have a lot of fun. Now, of course, we've got to deliver the product. Just like in Super Bowl, they've got to deliver those plays. They've got to, pass. Hopefully it doesn't get to be intercepted, but they've got to pass. They've got to kick effectively. And so we've got to figure out how we're going to deliver our product or our service. And if you offer a number of products, which one are you going to focus on? in this particular Super Bowl idea. So we really want to start to then focus on what the product's going to be. And then we want to entice the media, because you just never know what the media may get interested in. And if you can come up with a hook, if you will, to get them excited about this and about this idea, so that maybe they'll cover it, they want to follow it along the way, maybe they even want to be a part of it. There is an event that's going on here in Western North Carolina in the near future, and it certainly is, it's helping a nonprofit by raising some funds, and they're starting to make a big deal out of this and in their company, and so you really want to entice the media, and they have included the media in order to kiss the bull, if you will, and it happens to be a bulldog, which is the mascot for the company, and the funds that they raise at various events through the years helps their local humane society. So depending upon how big they can make this again could be the Super Bowl idea. So also along the way, let's acknowledge the accomplishments. If we make a sale through this Super Bowl, if we get our employees excited, if we get our customers excited, we get the media involved. Periodically, if you have your Super Bowl idea go for a month or 2 months, if it were a sales contest like what I mentioned, definitely want to make sure that you look at accomplishments and you celebrate those short little milestones, because that keeps the enthusiasm very excitable. And then we've got to figure out how we're going to measure the results. Now, of course, this should be well thought out before you even kick it off. And how are we going to measure? Some things, such as sales, are certainly going to be measurable from a standpoint of how many and what was the total and all of those kind of things. But what else might you be able to measure? Maybe you do a survey after the Super Bowl idea, and you ask your customers, what did you think about this? Did it enhance, the feeling that you had about the company? Did you tell anybody else about the event that maybe brought them into it, or brought them to test out your product? There's a number of ways that you can actually measure the results, so you definitely want to do that. And so what we want to do is, beginning such an event for your business is certainly a great way to start out the year. Having an annual event that continues to just get bigger and bigger and bigger, just like the Super Bowl, will certainly begin to help you with your branding. You become known for something big. And again, once a year is fine, just like the Super Bowl. So, I hope that you will take these tips that I've given you today to think about and design and develop a Super Bowl idea for your firm. And if you do, I'd love to have you share. Just go to themagnolia.tv and share the results. What was your theme? How did you get everybody excited about it? And I'll certainly share them back with the audience. So until next month, when we will see you for the next Magnolia, good luck with your Super Bowl. We'll be watching.